different angle. All right, folks, so today's overhead press day. We're gonna do a little warming up. I'll probably try and do some shrugs or something. So we have to get this camera lined up better. I'm not even sure which. Yeah, that's that one. And then the one on the floor is not quite angled correctly. So let's angle that a little better. Now, because of this, we've got a lot of our views are very similar. Let's move this guy over here. Get this from this angle, I think. And it's protected by the incline. And then this camera is totally not lined up correctly. I think we're good now. Hopefully. It's weird. So that's that camera. What is this one looking at? Okay, that's this one. And this one. Alright. So we're good, I think. Now I'm not sure what I'm going to do today, folks. We can't continue to kill ourselves every time. I'm going to use some 5s here and just do some side raises. Just get the blood flowing, loosen things up. We'll try and do a little stretching. Maybe I won't do shrugs because that's tomorrow, but shrugs are another one that'll help get the shoulders warmed up pretty good, I think. At least from what I've been doing. But tomorrow I do shrugs and I do the heavy side raises. We could use bands. We do have bands, but and we could use some lighter. Obviously, we use some lighter weights to warm up with. We'll use the barbell, then we'll throw some 10s on there, and we're just gonna go with it, folks. You will see me put a weight belt on eventually. So if I don't look pregnant now, I'm going to look more pregnant in a moment. All right. We need to figure a couple things out. One, we got to figure out what height to put this on. So last week you might have saw, we just do things different here and there, but okay, that's way too low. And then this guy is possibly the right height. If I dump it forward, it should be good. So I think we need to go up about 2 pegs. And we really, we don't want to have to press much out of this thing, right? Just a barely pressing off the peg. We do have 2 different kind of pegs. You're not going to see me do behind the neck. You'll probably never see that because I just don't have flexibility anymore. I don't think that it's worth injuring myself for. Alright, so let's just try the barbell, and we're going to have to scoot the bench further. Closer, more forward. Yep, yes, we're going to do that. Now when I come down, it looks like I could come down one more, or bring the safeties up one more. So let's try that. And if you have good form and come down consistently on both sides, probably not likely to hit anything. Now moving this forward might give me a little more of an advantage. So one thing that we found out yesterday, alright, I don't like that. We're gonna bang off of that. we had the bars in, like down below. You can see there's some bars. They are at a different height. And we can go at different heights in comparison to this, so it's kind of nice. Now I could actually put those in and might find the exact right spot. So I think we're good there. Now in the video, I might go heavy today. I don't know. We'll see how the body feels. Let me clean up a little bit. I got some Cat 2.5 pound plates, and I'm not going to grab all of them, but so 6-pack of these came in, $16, folks. Not too bad. I needed them for my my accessory work that we do with the belt squad. Okay, and that's why we got those. This angle is getting the light. There we go. So we're going with kind of a purple background, even though it doesn't really look purple. I will use the Cerberus elbow sleeves. You know, will they give me an advantage? We might get 5 pounds more. We might get 1 extra rep. Beyond that, I don't think you get that much. Now, if somebody like heavily disagrees, I will one day try and do the same workout I did yesterday with nothing but my probably my gloves. I have to have something. But yours truly does suffer from tendonitis. As talked about in 100, maybe even 500 videos before this. And so, you know. All right, one thing, hey, congrats to me, congrats to all our viewers, subs. I got good news. I mean, it's not the best news, but it's good news. We got partially monetized, right? So what does that mean? Well, the best monetization, folks, is when you get 1,000 subscribers and you have 4,000 watch hours. The 4,000 watch hours have to be within the last year, and then YouTube's got to accept you into its partner program. It also has to like your channel, right? Like the way things you're doing. You can't be excessively vulgar. You know, occasionally drop some cuss words. That's a weightlifting thing, right? I was about to say toxic masculinity, but you know, just the way us old school weightlifter types are. Now the new generation might be a little soft. There's no doubt the new generation is a bit soft. Their feelings get hurt, blah, 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 right? But where am I going with this? So YouTube, you got to be a little family friendlier, right? So we can't necessarily say the things we might have said back in the day. And we can't call people pussies and use, you know, the C word, this and that, right? So, you know, the old days, lifting weights and getting your buddies pumped up, those were all good, right? But there were some negatives in there, you know. No doubt, like people do catcalling to the women and do other idiotic stuff that women don't appreciate. Some do. Some want the attention, some don't. Actually, I know if my stalkers out there watching this, probably one of the types that appreciates a little attention in that regard. So definitely like a little muscle to get your lighting into shape. Now that sucks because it doesn't really, not doing a whole lot. All right, so moving along. Somewhere in there I'll have to put the elbow sleeve on. That's like the first thing that starts bugging me. If we could go super wide, you know, here's the problem. Jacked up shoulder, jacked up elbow. Come in too tight, the elbow's feeling too much. go out too far, the shoulder feels it. Now there's obviously places in there that are optimum for power over your head. If I personally have found them is another story. And we are still way too close to this freaking thing. So some of you, actually nobody questioned why is this guy lifting off of the bar instead of the pegs, right? So last week we had the safety bars down here, across here. I just lifted right off there, right? We did 225 off there. No, sorry, we did 230 off of there. To be exact, I think we had collars on, so it was more like, might have been 230.5. But, so we did that, and it was good. It's a good workout, right? Saves a little bit of energy. You might be able to finish an extra rep. Is that, would that be considered cheating to some people? Maybe. If you were doing standing, you start in basically that position. So, without having somebody hand you the weight, and ideally sitting, and I've never seen anybody do this, but if you're sitting and you had somebody help lift the weight off the bar, that would get you in a perfect position. Kind of like when I have the pins up here and I'm standing, lift up, carry out, but the amount of stress the body feels doing it standing, folks, is considerable compared to what one feels when they are sitting. Now, one could argue, actually plenty of people could argue, that I am using upper chest doing it this way. We do have, obviously there's a slight bend in the bench. It's a utility bench though. These are the benches that are meant for doing utility press. You may go to a gym and find that it's a little more upright, and you cannot put up the same amount of weight. Case in point, I think I did hammer strength military, and I was really disappointed with how hard it was to get rep out with 185. So finding a good happy medium, I think, is the way to go. But realize if you're to compete against other people that you might find that you're not lifting as much as you think you are because of the angle of the bench. Case in point, another case in point, folks. Hopefully you guys get some education. This channel, I'm an older guy. I have gone through a lot of years of working out, did some things right, did some things wrong. Kind of settled in my ways what at my age works. I'm not into, hey, let me do chest twice a week, or let me do flat bench twice a week. I do it once. I'll throw an incline on a different day. I'll throw in military, and then probably another day I do triceps. 3 days of rest, and then we start that part of the cycle over again. Is that too much? Maybe. With me going on a pretty long travel here, we're going to have to change up our plans and figure out a new way to do things, unfortunately, which totally blows. I'm kind of enjoyed the way I have things set up, and to have to change kind of sucks, to be honest with you. So, yep. But, what's the stuff I can do here I'll be able to do in the future? I'm learning some stuff. I have the belt squat attachment. I'm like, what if I do this at the commercial gym, grab a bench, grab my straight bar, and you know what I've been doing there? We won't miss a beat. You know, maybe our forearms will get bigger, because you got to work both parts of the forearm. And with me having problems hammer curling with my right arm, we're not quite getting that part of the forearm. And the biceps probably going to start shrinking here soon. Now, one thing advantageous about this bench for somebody my size, my upper back, part of my upper back is able to hang over this thing, which probably allows a little more, I hate to, use the word cheat, but probably allowing me to cheat a little. I think it was Bradley Martin or Mike O'Hearn. They were using some bench that had quite an angle to it, doing 225 presses. It was there was one big dude and then one scrawny guy. In my opinion, he was scrawny, but that guy should not have even been able to do 225. I don't think in a proper seated hammer strength that he'd be able to do more than one rep, if he could do one at all. So the fact this guy did like 4 or 5, whatever he did, I'm like, are you kidding me? So folks, if you're worried about the safety of these things, get yourself clamps like this, right? That thing doesn't go nowhere, all right? I use that on the other pins that I have, and sometimes, nice thing about a gym like this, you can make this more like your hammer strength or life fitness or Nautilus, where you could have multiple pegs. You could have a peg in the front to drop to. So there are some advantageous things here for that. Okay. So, where am I going, folks? I just took all the way off. Are we done? No, we're not done. Not even close. I don't know what I'm doing today. One of the things you always want to have going into a workout is a plan. I know at the end, we got 155 for 21 reps. The next week, we tried 160 for 20. Because that's what was going to carry me over to do 165 the following week. Well, guess what? I did not get my 160. So, what does that mean, folks? That means yours truly wasn't a happy camper about that. But the other thing about that is I need to drop the weight down so that we can get our 20 reps. And we're going to try 157. Maybe we'll go exactly in between, right? If you got 19 and then you got 21, maybe going right between them is the exact number I need. Now, last week I also did that 230 for 3. I thought, why not show off? Why not more ego lifting? Why not fucking 235 and try and get 2? Right? You fuckers love that. You want to see this old guy break, right? So, maybe that's what we're going to give you this week. Alright. Feeling a little not so great in my elbow. Actually, hearing more popping, cracking. I know that at some point when I retire from one of my jobs, I'm going to try and get some surgery on my shoulder, potentially. If I can get something, you know, just like a barely maybe not what happened to the sective where you got all fucked up, but you know, minor surgery that would cause me to alleviate the pain in my elbow, the popping. If there was something they could do in and out in a day and be back to working out in 2 weeks, then hey, it'd be good for it. If my shoulder they could do the same, that would be great, right? If we could get rid of that shoulder pain and all of a sudden, like, whoa, I think you'd start to see more gains from me because we're holding back a little bit. Now, the funny thing is, that was obviously just a little warm up there. At the moment, I don't know how in the hell my body gets warm enough, loose enough that it could do 20 reps of that weight. I think our max is 26 seated at 135. Yeah, that's pretty good, folks. That's pretty damn good. Standing though, it's been a long time since I hit 20 standing. So when I was doing 20 standing, I was obviously stronger. Quite a bit stronger, right? But I think I got 19. 17, 18, 19, somewhere there. Fuck, anything over 12 standing is pretty good. No matter what your age is. Now, of course, if you weigh, let's insult me, but if you weigh what I weigh, you should, and you're really into weightlifting, you should probably be able to do, just like that one thing said, at least 75% of your body weight. Lift that over your head, which we can do. But if you're really competitive, you could probably do 8 reps. I can barely get 6 reps of 185 these days. Without the back support and all the other stuff, the stress, the trauma of holding that weight up, it takes quite a toll compared to, hey, let me just sit here. Oh yeah, I'm just using, you know, all my power, and I have this bench to leverage. Probably we're probably using some leverage, right? So all right, next after this set, then we're gonna probably set up the YouTube short. You know, for a while there I was trying to do reps of 185 and I got up to 13 or 14, which is just ridiculous. And I think it might be better to just go with a little heavier weight. Do less, but who knows? Alright, so 155. We'll just crank out 6 to 8 of these. Move on. So when I do those, I really feel it right here on my shoulder, all right? If you were cheating, you would feel it in your chest. Now, one good thing I think is, well, maybe not a good thing. If you had aggravated strain of some kind in your chest, then you're probably, if it's the upper portion of your chest, you're probably still going to be able to do these, okay? So, a 175 warm up. And we will what are we gonna do this week? Probably need to pick some numbers to do something different. Yeah. Since indeed I believe we're getting stronger, let's call this 177. And really 177.5 because the collars, but 1 pound plate. I say that. So every cap plate I've ever lifted, folks, or ever measured, has been either on the money or it has been up to 5% over, okay? And that is kind of an interesting thing, because if you were lifting 200 pounds, you think you're lifting 200 pounds, you're actually, or the bar plus 200 pounds, you're actually lifting 210, right? Hey, I might make a video about that. So I weighed all the 2.5s. They were all pretty much, well, most of them were, 4 out of 6 were between 1 and 2 ounces over, right? So if a 2.5 pound plate is supposed to weigh 40 ounces and you are 1 to 2 ounces over that, you're 2.5 to 5 ounces heavier, okay? I get my other protein bars today. All right, folks, so interesting fact here at the Weight Slayer gym. We have weighed all of our cap plates, Olympic plates, and I got to tell you, some of them are spot on. Some are 1% higher and some are 2%. So the reality is none of them are less. And what I've kind of wondered is, you know, hey, when I'm lifting weights, I might actually be putting up 1 to 2% more, right? So what does that mean? Well, if I'm lifting 300 pounds of weights on top of my 45 pound bar, I'm adding, you know, at least 3 to 6 more pounds. So keep that in mind. You know, if you're not able to weigh your weights, you may actually be lifting more weight than you think you are. All right, so just a little stupid YouTube video. Okay, what did I say we had on here? We have at least 177, okay? And I probably should go from the other side. I need to buy another one of these camera stands. This thing is pretty reliable, I will say. All right, let me get a sip, and then we'll do our next warm-up set. So, obviously, folks, there was a time this was not a warm-up set for me, right? Now, yeah. All right, so we have 177. It's a 45, 210s, a 1 pound microweight, and actually the collars are about 0.5. Now, if you see my video, all the cap weights I have are pretty much 1 to 2% higher than their stated weight. So potentially we're lifting more than we think we are. My VTX plates, I believe, are a lot more accurate. But hey. All right, here we go. So that was a good warm-up. We could have did a few more. We don't want to burn ourselves out on the lighter weight. Pause this so I don't waste it. So I use this other camera, the short camera, for making YouTube, whatchamacallits, YouTube shorts. I use the portrait camera. Alright. So this next set will be a real set. And we're going to go to 225, right? And we will switch to servers because when we're serious, we're serious, folks. I might need to tighten my weight belt up too. It feels a little loose. I feel like I have gut support, gut and lower back support. I probably should use my Mark Bell lowers too. Problem is, they get so hot and sweaty, but man, do they keep you nice and secure. Matter of fact, let's do that. We're gonna go ridiculously heavy here in a moment, and this camera keeps freaking moving for some reason. The cable's a little too tight. So one of the channels, folks, will have the triple view, or one of the channels will have the triple view. That one might be the best, at least from the back, or not. Actually, it's kind of 3 views of the exact same thing. But whatever. It's better, I think, on the decline or incline because I can get the 3 cameras in 3 different orientations from where they are right now. Not so great. Now, if I moved the laptop over, which I probably should have, because there's a wall plug over here, I could have. I got to figure out a way to rotate the camera so that if I put it on the wall, and maybe I can do this, rotate the view 90 degrees so that we can mount it that way and just change the angle off the wall. But you know, because of the orientation, you only have the ability to go up and down, and that aspect sucks. So I think when I come back, we're gonna do. Hell, actually, we're gonna need to buy more webcams, and then I will mount them to the walls, and then we will we'll just move the laptop around probably, or I have multiple laptops. We'll use one laptop for, you know, the different views maybe. Okay. But you know, technology is a wonderful thing when you have it. If you have to invest money into buying all this crap, and I have that tech channels, so there's really no reason for me not to use what I have. Now I have this shitty leather belt that I don't know why I didn't send it back. It sucks, but we might. This one is probably legal for me to use in actual bench press competition. So I'll use this one, I guess. I don't think I got that on very tight, but all right. Gotta put our gloves back on. And Okay. So, we have a lot of extra support, folks, for the next set. And you young fuckers just don't seem to understand, but you'll understand when you get older and if you haven't quit working out and turned into a big fat pig, you will understand that the gear will help you continue on, and it'll still keep you strong. Obviously, if you look at my videos where I do take the pump cover off, just kidding, pump check videos, that I'm still pretty damn strong, and I still got a lot of muscle in me. So, all right, let's double check our weights. Always a smart idea. So we have a 45, 310s, and a 1 pound microweight, plus the collars are 4 ounces a piece. So on the inside. So we're doing 197.5 if we wanted to be exact mundo. But now, as I stated before, cap plates are highly inaccurate, up to 2 ounce difference, and out of a lot of 6, 2 were 1% over, 2 were 2%, and one was just slightly over the 2.5 pounds. So that's not bad, but if you had all 2%ers, and there's no negative 2% plates that I have except for one set, all those plates being, if they were all 2% higher, we've got almost another 3.2 pounds on here, basically, or somewhere in there. All right, folks, we're taking this one serious. We want to get some good reps out of it. All that chat, and 185 is obviously a lot easier to do, but 12 pounds less overhead press. I don't know in bench press that we would have a 4 or 5 rep difference. I'd have to check like a bench calculator to see if that seems realistic. All right, so that was our heavy rep set. Our next set is 235. Kind of want to just say fuck it, put 240 on there, but that's a little bit of a jump. All right, let me take these off for a moment. So, don't let people give you shit if you're taking a long time between sets. If you got a training partner that's rush, there's a good chance that motherfucker's not making good gains. If you are, there's different approaches, right? One could say, hey, I'm gonna get as much volume in as I can in an hour. Or the other might say, I'm gonna get a good warm-up in, then I'm gonna lift heavy, rest, recover, and then go at it again. That is, that's a little more old school, I think. Now, you gotta, if you really want to track your sets, how you're doing, not doing your next set until you feel like your body is recuperated is going to be a more accurate indicator than if I said, oh, well, I just did that set. Let me go ahead and bang out. I'm going to bang this out, right? So, I hate to use the collars because that's another half pound. Half pound can make a difference, right? That's the cool thing about the microwaves. I can, you know, if I hit, like I hit bench press 355 the other day, and it honestly felt easy. I had nobody to lift off the weight. I had nobody to allow me to get into position and then lift off the weight. I was about as flat on the bench. You know, you're talking old school, right? Nobody's going to complain about my, hey, your butt was off the bench. Hey, you arch so much that you barely move the bar, right? I don't bench off of my gut, which, you know, if I could, man, that would be maybe advantageous. Plus, you know, if I'm able to do that and not have to move the bar as far, right? But I think that puts a lot of stress on the shoulder. If I had shorter arms, yeah, maybe I could do that. I don't know. You know, it's an interesting factor. There should be a way to, you know, verify that people are stronger than one another versus the bench press, right? Because the reality is the form you use that you've trained for can make somebody with a lot less muscle appear stronger than somebody that's got a lot of muscle but no flexibility, right? Because, you know, using something like just lifting the last 6 inches. You know, there are people that could lift probably a lot more, but they just can't get the weight down to their chest and get off their chest because their triceps are strong and their chest is weak. But now the people that have that great technique and form, and I only call it great technique and form because it's legal. If it wasn't legal, I'd be like, wow. And personally, I hate it. It doesn't even up the playing field for somebody like me. Like, I could never super arch my back, but I would like to get a decent little arch in, and I would use my other weight belt if it was legal. Maybe even, you know, if I could stick something back there to turn it into decline. Because the reality is, if you do decline bench consistently and flat, you'll find that you probably, at least as somebody of my strength, can do 10 to 15 pounds more on the decline. And doing a variation of the decline on the flat, you know, is kind of that, pretty much that difference. Now, is that worth it to me, like to say, well, I did 355 easy with my back completely flat? Is it worth me taking a chance of jacking up my back just to be able to say, yeah, folks, I was able to do this because I could arch my back, and oh, by the way, my back hurts now because of it. Oops, I'm screwing out the bench, which is a bad idea, but it doesn't look squared up. So we got 235 on here. It's Definitely a decent amount of weight. We'd like to get 2 reps. We're starting in the up position, which compared to last week is a little more difficult, but we may, rolling off the bar and getting it up was tough, but this obviously expends a lot of energy too, because we add that off the rack, lowering it, and then pressing. You might find if you could do 3 off of the bar like I did last week of 230, that you can only do 2 with the rack. If you have a spotter, somebody to lift this off, you might also find that you can get finish that 3rd rep, or at least get close to doing it. All right, so folks, it's time for another ego lift. And I have no doubt that we do a lot of ego lifting on this channel, and so do my brothers that I subscribe to. To say people like they can't lift the weight now, but those people that have competed, they obviously got some egos, right? Those people have competed, done steroids, like Coach Greg. He has, there's no doubt he had an ego, right? I mean, all the weights he threw up, and the fact he had to use steroids to get there, and he's on TRT. I mean, he was pretty strong, but how strong really would he have been without that stuff? I don't know. We got 2 sets left, folks. Then I'm going to go to Planet Fitness, and hopefully people there won't annoy me like they normally do. Alright, tighten up gloves. We got the Cerberus elbow sleeves, maybe good for 1 rep on the lighter weight. I don't think it's that big a deal here, but I could be wrong. We're not going to go any wider. This is a lot of fucking weight, folks. Okay, 2 reps. That's good. I don't think the form was what I really wanted. Depth coming down, maybe not as deep, but 2 reps is 2 reps. So there will not be a 240 next week, all right? There won't be a 230. There won't be a 235 next week. There won't be a 230. I don't think that we're going to go over 215 for a while after this. Just not. I'm not sure we're getting training benefit out of it, except for that was an ego lift, right? And I wanted to have an idea what kind of power I had in me. And I was hoping deep down inside that it would feel easy, and maybe I'd do a 3rd, but it did not feel easy. 2 was pretty tough. And that was all we had, folks. Now that I'm warmed up, I actually kind of wouldn't mind doing another shot at 197. But see if we can get 10. But I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I'll grab these. And if I knew these weights weren't going to bang all over the place, I would probably not do it. Oh shit, I didn't do that like Schwarzenegger. Hang on. There we go. Whew. That's heavy weight. Heavy weight, folks, that I just put on there. Okay. We need our 1-pounders. Yeah, if I knew these weren't going to slide around, I would go without the collar. Somebody, if you're watching this, remind me. Oh fuck! I don't think I got this on the other camera because it's been paused. God damn it. Thank God I did multiple cameras. So, of course, on the good camera, we missed the 2 reps of 235. So it sucks. Oh well, it is what it is, right? So the cool thing is, I mean, it's kind of stupid, but if you go to Planet Fitness and use the hammer strength machine, what I just did there, add about 25 pounds onto that because there's a counterweight in there, and you would have whatchamacallit, what would that look like? Another 10 and a 2.5 on each side. So we would have had 2 45s, a 10, a 5, and a 2.5. That would have looked pretty awesome on here. Basically it needs to weigh 260, yeah. Whatever 260 comes out to. And so that would just look awesome. And you might get an extra rep or 2 out of the Smith machine. And obviously, depending on how the bench is angled, maybe more, maybe less, if you were completely upright. So the Smith machine goes in at an angle, so you don't want to have your bench, completely upright, because then you're benching, in my opinion, in a bad direction. So maybe the bench is a little more angled than it would be if you were doing free weight barbell. But yeah, kind of feel like I need to go down there and show off a little bit. But doing 2 reps is not. Whatever I can do there on that machine for 5 to 8 on my final heavy set is good. And then I always go to like a 135 equivalent rep out and just crank out reps. And by then I'm pretty fucking worn out. Whew. So yeah, I don't like the way the 45 caps sit on these bars. They don't want to sit like perfectly 90. At least the other one doesn't. And this one doesn't look like it is either. So those red cheap plastic clamps that I have, that you guys seen in some of the videos, that will make these things real tight. They're definitely better collars, but they're a pain in the ass to get on and off. So yeah, I think I'm done buying cap plates at this point, folks. We talked about, hey, I should get, what was I gonna do? I was gonna get, I wanted to have 4 sets of cap 45s. I have 2, and that way when I do my my flat bench, it looked more like Tall Man Jude. I think he's got 3. I'm not sure what brand he has. They kind of look similar to this, but 3 sets of 45s. And I don't think he has a 4th one, but if I were to do that, it looks good. It looks a little more professional, right? I mean, we're kind of getting there. This backdrop, we'll call this set number 1. Eventually, I'm going to get some texture along the bottom. Right now, I don't feel like spending $109 to do it, but I also need to probably put a baseboard in first, then put the texture in, wallpaper-like thing, 4x8. I think it's like $109. Just kind of got like a steel diamond pattern, right? Is that what it's called? Whatever it's called. for grading or walking on. So I don't think it's not real metal. But yeah, 2 of those will just about fill this wall, but then I need a 3rd one. So I need cover this and then the portion over there. And then we'd have to do the cutouts, which is going to be a pain in the ass, for the electrical outlets. I didn't even think about that. That's a pain. Then the electrical outlets, I've got to buy cooler looking electrical outlets, right? Maybe gray or black. White looks stupid on that. There's steel ones too, but I've seen them for light switches. I don't know about the outlets. So we would get that. Then the wall itself, I need to take these mirrors off of this thing and take the stickers off the back and apply more of these mirrors, even though they kind of suck. But if they were all lying on a flat wall, they might look a little less distorted. And then have that all the way across. So that would really make this look a lot more professional. Doing the flooring would be good, people check out a video and they're like, wow, this guy put a lot of time into it. They might be a lot more likely to subscribe than if I'm sitting in my garage, No offense to some of my buddies, but my goal is bigger than just the home gym thing. My goal is to have a real freaking working gym. And I know Gravestrong, you're probably not going to listen to this part of this, but if the wife and I and the cats decide we're going to move down to Georgia, and I think you said you're north of Atlanta. That's what would be the plan, to be north of Atlanta. You would be always welcome to come to the channel and work out, And if your shit gets more successful and I'm closer, both of us get way more successful. Like we're made men on here, right? And then, hell, maybe we could open up some kind of gym together, 5-piece of property. Do that. That would be freaking killer. Assuming we, trust each other and all that good stuff. There's a lot more to reality than just what we know of each other. So, all right. But yeah, if I move, my goal would be enough property that I could build a workshop on it. I'm going to tell the missus that I ain't living anywhere unless I can have that workshop, and then I want $50,000 to $100,000 to build my gym, and that's what I'm going to do. So I am on my monetized channel. I do save a certain percentage of it, slow going, and I realize with Biden inflation that probably going to be closer to $100,000 to have a decent gym. But what's a perfect gym for home use, workshop that I could also do other YouTube videos and make countless amount of money on. I probably want to have animals and shit too, but the whole thing would be, you'd want to have a bathroom in there. How many times in the middle of the set, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta take a piss or do something worse than that. Or wash your face off, wash your hands. So you want to have at least a toilet, and you might as well just have a fucking shower in there. And then if I opened it up to personal training, then you definitely want to have a shower. You want to have a lock, some lockers, or just have them bring your gym bag out on the floor with you, because it's not going to be more than a couple people in here at one time. All right. But could have lockers. Could have a men's and women's restroom. I've been, eyeing like a life fitness circuit. That would be so cool to get, 10 to, I don't even know how many make up a circuit. Let's say it's at least 15 to 20. Have those, have that whole thing. Some of the machines I wouldn't want, but good for, you know, personal training purposes. Have the free weights, the benches. Obviously have the cardio equipment. Probably need 2 of each in case one breaks or whatever, or you have to train 2 people at once. Husband and wife pair, or you know, two chicks, 2 dudes. All right, folks. We've got 157 on here. The goal is 20 reps, and I don't know how we're feeling today. We feel a little weaker, but we're gonna try and bang this out. Here we go. Now, there was no doing an extra after that. I'm gonna rewind it. Pause the portrait. So I'm gonna watch this in a second. Let me get my gloves off. We'll shut the other camera off as well. In the meantime. So I can't believe we missed the 225 on the portrait, which sucks because that's the ego lift video there. Oh, and by the way, we ran out of storage on the other freaking camera. Man, that sucks. We just can't win at all down here in the Weight Slayer gym. Gosh. One of these days, folks. All right, taking the shoes off. So, how much video did we get? 18 minutes before we ran out of room. And guess what? I don't think I got. We didn't get 225 on this portrait or the other one. Damn. Oh well, it's life. Well, we didn't get the 225 on the overhead, and we did obviously get it on the triple. We got it on there, but I don't want to get in trouble with reusing our stuff too much, because that's kind of a no. We'll do a pump check here. Let me get these weights off. You know, most of you ain't watching this video. So this is just after the watch hours, but you get to see the whole thing, folks. So I was talking about being monetized. I am the first level, which is not the good level. Let's talk about the second level. Second level is you have ads on your stuff. You know, on 1,000 viewed short, you make 10 cents, which is nothing. But if you do enough shorts, let's say you get 10 to 20,000 a day, at least you're making at least $1 or $2. So that's pretty good. I'll be back in a second. Alright. What was I saying? Oh, okay. So level 2 is full monetization, super chats, store, blah blah blah. You get everything. That is, you know, where this channel is going to be in a couple months, hopefully. Now, the other is the level 1, basically, we'll call it. Or maybe it's level 2. I don't know, whichever way we want to look at it. That, folks, is the ultimate, because you get, level 1 is the one where you just get super chats, a store. Very hard to make any money. And so we'll get to the other one here soon. Within the next 6 months, maybe sooner. Be nice to get there quicker, but oh well, what are you gonna do? All right, guys, yapping. There we go. Okay.
All right, folks. We've got 157 on here. The goal is 20 reps. And I don't know how we're going to turn things out. Bring it. Go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21! Woo! That shit. Now, it did look like I was cheating a bit, but whatever. Who cares? Who cares, folks? Once a cheater, always a cheater, right? Okay, so pump check. Shirt is going to remain on until we drop 20 pounds. But, yeah, look at that shit. Now I'm going to go to Planet Fitness. People are going to be like, fuck, this guy is way too fucking powerful for this shithole known as Planet Fitness. Right? Alright, so left side, the lighting sucks, but the right is as good as it's going to get. Thanks for checking out my video. Please like, please subscribe. Alright, so triple view. We'll shut you off in a second. Then I gotta eventually come over and copy the files off, but it's nice to have these long videos for intensive purposes.